Level 1. The distant relative. You share a last name with someone worth $14 billion, and that's basically where the connection ends. You've seen him exactly 3 times: your grandmother's 90th birthday, a cousin's bar mitzvah, and that one disastrous Christmas where you accidentally pulled into his reserved spot. You spent the next 20 minutes stumbling through apologies to a man in an earpiece who looked like he'd seen better days. Meanwhile, your actual life looks nothing like the headlines. You manage projects at a mid-size consulting firm, lease a Toyota you're technically upside down on, and live in a suburb where the most dramatic thing that's happened recently is someone put in a new mailbox. Then a TikTok goes viral mapping your family tree, and suddenly your entire digital life implodes. Your DMs become a wasteland of crypto pitches, aspiring influencers, and people you haven't spoken to since high school, asking if you can get them a job at his company. LinkedIn transforms into something genuinely uncomfortable. Every other connection request comes with a message like, "Hey, noticed your family connection to you-know-who." Would love to explore synergies. The word synergies has never felt more sinister. Your Venmo notifications spike because distant acquaintances have suddenly remembered debts you had no idea they were keeping track of. A lifestyle blogger reaches out wanting to collaborate on content about growing up adjacent to wealth, which is funny because your most luxurious childhood memory is the year your mum bought the name brand cereal instead of the store brand. But here's where it gets genuinely strange. Every year around the holidays, $15,000 lands in your bank account via wire transfer. The memo just says family. No message, no call, no acknowledgement from either side. It wipes out your credit card balance and funds a vacation you'd never otherwise take. And you never bring it up because, honestly, what do you even say? You just let it sit there, grateful and a little unsettled. Level 2. The in-laws. You married into the family 3 years ago, thinking you understood what you were stepping into. You did not. The engagement party was at their small house in the Hamptons, which had 12 bedrooms and a staff who somehow already knew how you took your coffee before you'd introduced yourself to anyone. Wedding planning introduced you to people with job titles you didn't know existed: security consultants, logistics coordinators, a publicist whose entire job was making sure no paparazzi crashed the reception. Your bachelor party was Vegas, covered entirely by your future brother-in-law, who dropped $50,000 on bottle service the way most people throw down for a round of drinks casually, without looking at a menu. Now your daily life has a strange texture to it. Your credit card has no functional limit, but anything over $10,000 gets flagged by the family office. You drive a Tesla that was handed to you with a bow, and you live in a penthouse technically owned by a trust. But there's a ceiling you can never quite reach. Family meetings happen without you. Business conversations visibly decelerate when you walk into the room. Your spouse's siblings have a group chat, and you are not in it. The prenup you signed contains social media clauses, NDA provisions, and a morality clause that essentially means one embarrassing headline and you walk away with nothing. You're inside the life, but you're not inside the family. Not fully. Maybe. Not ever. Level 3. The sibling. You grew up in the same house, went to the same boarding school, and have clear memories of your brother weeping because he didn't get the pony he requested for his 8th birthday. Now he's worth $22 billion, and you're worth $10 million, which makes you wealthier than almost everyone on the planet, and still somehow the underperforming child at every family dinner. Your sustainable fashion company is legitimately successful. It's profitable. It employs 200 people. You spent a decade learning the industry before launching it. None of that seems to matter to journalists, who reference your brother's name within the first sentence of every single article written about you. Your company's growth gets credited to family connections, and the decade of actual work quietly disappears from the narrative. Every few years, he offers to acquire your company. Always generous, probably double the market rate delivered in the same casual tone someone uses to suggest grabbing lunch. You've turned him down 3 times. Each refusal is its own private war between pride and practicality. Your kids attend the same private school as his. The difference is, his children arrive by helicopter. Yours take the Tesla. On paper, it's a minor distinction. In the school parking lot, it feels like something else entirely. Level 4. The best friend. You've known each other since prep school, were roommates at Harvard, and stood next to him at his wedding. You were the one who told him the startup was a bad idea. He named a conference room after you in his first real office building as a running joke about your prediction skills. The access is real. Charity, galas, private island trips, Super Bowl suites, you're on every list. But you're never in any room where decisions actually get made. When you suggested he look at a restaurant chain your mutual friend was building, his assistant scheduled a formal pitch meeting as if you were a cold call from a stranger. The meeting had a slide deck requirement. Your families are intertwined. Your kids are friends. Your wives coordinate weekends. New Year's is always Aspen at his place. But when Forbes profiles his inner circle, your name isn't there. He always picks up the check. Always, without discussion. Because the amounts are genuinely meaningless to him. But that means you've never once gotten to reciprocate in 15 years of friendship. You're grateful and resentful, and both feelings are entirely reasonable, which somehow makes it worse. Level 5. The children. You're 17, and the strangest part of your life isn't the wealth, it's that the wealth has become so baseline that you barely notice it until the outside world reacts to it. Your school costs more than most families' houses, but so does everyone else's. Your 16th birthday got picked up by gossip sites because someone leaked photos the custom Patek Philippe, the Grammy-winning performer, whose name is still covered by an NDA. The comment sections were merciless. Thousands of people who'd never met you describing exactly what kind of person you are. Your therapist, who specializes specifically in high net worth family dynamics, says this is developmentally normal. That doesn't make reading the comments feel less strange. College applications are managed by consultants who do this exclusively for ultra-wealthy families. Your SAT tutor charges more per hour than many people earn in a shift. Your extracurriculars include a non-profit you technically founded, supported by the Family Foundation. Dating is impossible in any normal sense. Every relationship gets reviewed by security, assessed by publicists. Your last relationship ended when your girlfriend sold vacation house photos to a tabloid. That's how you learned that trust is genuinely the one thing no amount of money can just purchase outright. Level 6. The spouse. You met him at a charity auction 15 years ago when he was only worth $500 million. And you were a successful attorney who believed she understood what real wealth looked like. That belief didn't survive the first year of marriage. The honeymoon was a private island he purchased for the occasion, then donated to a conservation trust afterward because holding onto it felt unnecessary. Now you run a foundation that deploys $100 million annually. Your household staff includes people with active security clearances. When you travel, advance teams coordinate with local authorities because your itinerary has measurable effects on local economies. People see the surface and assume it's easy. They don't see the scrutiny. Every outfit becomes a political statement about wealth inequality. When your husband posts something that lands badly, you spend the following week managing relationships with donors, elected officials, and a peer group made up exclusively of other billionaire spouses. Level 7. The active family member. You're 29, and you run the family's venture capital division, $2 billion spread across 200 companies. Mornings start at 5, with Asia calls. Nights end around midnight reviewing pitch decks from founders who believe proximity to the family name is functionally the same as a term sheet. Your wins get attributed to the last name. Your losses get blamed on nepotism. Your actual track record gets buried somewhere in between, under a narrative about dynasty and inherited advantage. Level 8. The successor. You're 35. Everyone inside the company, and most people outside it, understand that you're being prepared to take over. You present quarterly results to analysts who genuinely remember your internship. This isn't just a business you'd be running, it's a structure that supports hundreds of thousands of jobs. You work a 100-hour week as a baseline, travel relentlessly, and haven't taken an uninterrupted vacation in 4 years. Your marriage held barely, and not without cost. Your children see you on weekends when you're not in another time zone. Level 9. The core. You're 68 years old. The number attached to your name is $48 billion. Your companies employ 500,000 people. Heads of state call your personal line for input on policy. Your public statements move markets before the markets officially open. But success, built to this scale, creates an isolation that no amount of money addresses. You are no longer just a person. You are an institution. Late at night, in the study overlooking the city, you occasionally let yourself wonder what the other version looked like. Something smaller, something manageable, a life where the biggest decision was whether to expand to a second location. But that road closed a long time ago. And now you're not just living a life, you're administering a legacy that will shape the world long after you're no longer here to direct any of it.